And hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rich Sports Talk, your home for all the latest and greatest on the New York Jets. Thank you so much for joining us on the program today. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, give us a like and a subscribe if you are watching or listening on any of our podcasts. Again, wherever podcasts are available, Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, wherever podcasts are available, you can check out our latest episodes. And if you're joining us during our live streams on YouTube, make sure to use that super chat feature to jump to the front of the live and also make a nice donation to the channel so we can continue to bring you great content here on the New York Jets. We are inching ever closer to the regular season as training camp is about to begin. But some interesting NFL news that I do think the Jets should keep an eye out on and the Jets should be involved in. Of course, that was the release of Noah Fant from the Seattle Seahawks. Now, again, a bit surprising, but the Seahawks also drafted Elijah Arroyo in the second round, and it's clear that I think that they are moving on and want to give the younger players an opportunity to play. Now, again, Fant was injured last year, only started 9 games, only appeared in 14 games, but was a former first-round pick, if you remember, the 20th overall pick by the Denver Broncos, and was a part of the massive deal that sent Russell Wilson to Denver. Of course, that would be the 2019 draft. He was the 20th pick. Spent 3 seasons with Denver, has spent 3 seasons in Seattle, and now he is a free agent, still 27 years old. So there's a lot I look at with Noah Fant. And I think that this is a good fit for a lot of reasons. And I do think the Jets could be a significant dark horse in this for another reason. But again, let's start off with the very basics. He is a highly productive player compared to what the Jets have in that tight end room. When you look at the tight ends that the Jets have that have played in an NFL game, you have Jeremy Ruckert and you have Stone Smart. Jeremy Ruckert has no career touchdowns. He has 0 touchdowns in his NFL career and has only brought in 35 catches over his first 3 seasons. Now, do I think he also will get a fair run with his former college quarterback in Justin Fields? That remains to be seen. Stone Smart was another one that the Jets brought in free agency, was someone that the Jets really like the athleticism, the upside, but again, someone that's only started technically 6 games out of 38 in their career. His career high last year was 208 yards receiving, and he only has 1 career touchdown. When you look at Noah Fant, he maybe hasn't lived up to being a first-round tight end, but he has been incredibly productive. Now, the last 2 years in Seattle, only 1 touchdown in those 2 years, but 15 career touchdown catches, has had over 400 yards in every single season that he has played. Last year, 500 yards, despite only starting in 9 games last year and only playing in 14. Has been pretty durable in his NFL career, playing 17 games twice and 16 games twice in his career. The thing I look for, though, is this is someone that is averaging about 35 yards a game. This is someone that their catch percentage, too, especially, has been very good, over 75% over the last 4 seasons. This is someone, when they're targeted, they catch the football. And look, the big reason I really think Noah Fant, it would benefit the Jets is the Jets are trying to build up a young core here. The New York Jets are attempting to build from the ground up. They are looking to build out this program. And one of the key pieces to this program is going to be tight end Mason Taylor, who they drafted in the second round this previous draft. I think Mason Taylor can be a very good NFL player. The thing I would worry about a little bit, though, is I feel like he might get pushed in off the deep end a little bit. And you don't want the kid to lose a bit of confidence. Now, you look at the tight end room, there's a good chance he's going to be the starting tight end day one. And again, as a second-round pick, you kind of hope for that. But if you brought in Noah Fant, one of the things it would allow you to do is maybe ease Mason Taylor into this role. I do think you're going to see a lot of 12 personnel and multiple tight ends on the field throughout the year. So it's not like Mason Taylor's not going to get any reps, even if Noah Fant was here. But it allows the Jets to let Mason Taylor ease into the transition to the tight end position, and he doesn't have to be the focal point or maybe even the number 2 producing pass catcher in this offense right away. I think if you bring in Fant, it would allow him to be eased into the position. You don't have to rush the development. And if he's struggling early, it gives you someone that's had experience in the National Football League that has played the position, has played the position well. Here's the other big reason why I think it is a big thing for Noah Fant to want to come to the Jets. Noah Fant is at a really intriguing crossroads in his NFL career. He's a former first-round pick. He's going to sign with a team. But this is someone that's coming off an injury-prone year, a bit of a down year, and is going to be entering his 28th-year-old in the end of the season. For Noah Fant, this probably will be your last chance to get a major contract in the NFL at the end of the season. So you want to go to a place, if you really want to get the last big bite of the apple for an NFL contract, you want to go to a place where you are primarily featured in the offense. And coming to the Jets, this is going to be a team that relies on the tight end heavily. And I really do believe they will heavily rely on the tight ends in this offensive scheme. You have a quarterback in Justin Fields who we have seen loves to throw to tight ends, loves targeting the tight ends. This could be an offense where Noah Fant could thrive, especially considering he might be the number 2 pass catching option in the entire offense behind Garrett Wilson. This could be a huge opportunity for him to look at this and go, the Jets might not be a playoff team this year. But if I want to get a last major contract in the NFL, now again, made a first-round selection money, not bad as a 20th overall pick, got a 2-year extension from the Seahawks, of course. They backed out of that, getting out a year early. But if you're Noah Fant and you have a great year this year and you have a great season and play for a tight end, a team that's going to want to run the ball, play action, throw to the tight end a lot, if you're able to get through a full season and you come out of this season with, let's say, 55 to 60 catches, 4 to 5 touchdowns, a couple hundred yards, like let's say 550, 600, there's going to be a team next year that's going to give you a good contract. There might be a team even now that might consider giving Fant a multi-year deal. But if I'm the Jets, I would try to either give him a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal that's front-loaded so they can get out of the deal at the end of the season. Because for Fant, if you're looking at this, you're going to be 28 this year. If you hit 29 next year, that's probably going to be your last big contract for your NFL career. So this could be a good opportunity. And you're going to an offense where if you walk in and you're healthy, you're probably going to be the number 1 tight end on day 1. And not only that, you'll probably be the number 2 target in the entire offense in this scheme. So that's why I think Fant is looking for a place where he wants to get high production to equal a big contract. This could be the place that is the best fit for him. And when you look at what he's done on the field, he's been productive. Even last year, 500 total yards last season. You look at Stone Smart and you look at Jeremy Ruckert, combined, they haven't had that amount of yardage in their NFL career. And last year was a down year for Fant. But here's the final reason why I do think this could be definitely in play for the New York Jets. And before I get into that, again, comment section's open during the live stream. You want to jump to the front of the line or make a donation, use that super chat feature. But you will also not only make a great donation to a channel that we're trying to grow, but you will also get your question answered first. Here's the other big key to this puzzle. The big key is who is in charge of calling the shots now with the Jets. It's general manager Darren Muji. Darren Muji, where was he in 2019, the year that Noah Fant drafted? That's right. He was a scout for the Denver Broncos. He was in that room. He was a part of that team that scouted Noah Fant. He was part of that team that did all the research on him. And again, we don't know if he signed off on the draft pick. We don't know if he was fully in, but there's a good chance he's seen him personally. And if he likes what he saw when he was a scout in Denver, maybe he can use that connection again to bring Fant to the Jets. I look at the players that they are adding. If they're under 25, it seems like the Jets want a long-term contract. But the guys that are over 27, 28, it's kind of a show-me contract. You saw Justin Fields giving kind of that show-me contract at the quarterback position. I don't think Fant is going to command a huge audience. He's going to get eyeballs on him because he's a former first-round pick. It doesn't matter what happens usually with first round picks, they get 2, 3, or 4 opportunities just because of the talent. When you are selected as one of the top 20 players in a draft, that is significant. You are considered one of the top athletes of that draft class, the cream of the crop of hundreds of players. You are at the top level of the NFL draft. And look, has Fant had the career that many people would have thought with the 20th overall pick? No, but has he proven he's an NFL player? Has he proven that he can be successful in this league? Has he proven that he can be an offensive weapon in this league? Has he proven that he can be reliable in an offense? Has he proven that he can be an NFL tight end? Yes. Just look at the numbers. 300 career catches, over 3,000 yards receiving, and 15 touchdowns. Think about the Jets tight end room. Mason Taylor is going to be a rookie. This allows him to ease into the position. But the total production combined of the current Jets tight end room, which is Jeremy Rucker and Stone Smart, is roughly 600 total yards. 600. Fant has done that in his career twice in a single season. I just look at the production. Yes, I like Smart the upside at 26. Yes, I understand Rucker rekindling with Justin Fields. But if you want Garrett Wilson to get better looks, if you want Garrett Wilson to not be double teamed almost on every play, if you want to give Justin Fields the best chance to succeed this season, if you want to give this offense the best chance to succeed this season, to me, it's bringing in Noah Fant to compete. You know he is an NFL caliber tight end. You know he's a starting caliber NFL tight end. And the biggest reason, too, is not even for this season. You don't want to mess things up with Mason Taylor. Yes, I do think it would be great to get him in day one. But we've also seen guys struggle a bit when they're completely relied on. Like Mason Taylor, to me, is going to be relied on as of now to be one of the top 3 pass catchers in this offense. Now, granted, there's going to be pressure. There's going to be opportunities where he might come up a little bit short because he's a rookie. But I understand that. If you add Noah Fant, there's not a rush to put Mason Taylor instantly on that field and ease him into the position and allow him to compete for that number 2 spot with Jeremy Rucker, allow him to compete with Stone Smart, allow him to compete to get onto the field. Because let's be honest, the Jets are going to play a lot of tight end sets. They're going to play a lot of different 12 personnel. They're going to put 2 tight ends on the field a lot. There might be plays where they run out with 3 tight ends. Maybe they have a tight end stacked out wide, maybe a tight end standing in the slot, but they're going to use their tight ends because, frankly, they don't have the firepower seemingly at the wide receiver position. So let's get into it. Drones. No, do not sign Noah. Should go with Brock even this year. Look, I mean, we can talk about drafting a tight end in the first round. I know we've debated that on this one too, but I do think with the tight end room, and Tony Alexia brings up a good point, will be relevant for the Jets. And look, let's be honest. Like one of the big disappointments is also losing Tyler Conklin because Tyler Conklin is a starting caliber tight end in the National Football League. Mason Taylor, we hope, is going to be a very good tight end for this team. But he's also a rookie. We can't rely on him right out of the gate to be this team's starting tight end. If he is, that's phenomenal. But I also would want to hedge your bets a little bit. I know that this staff might be loving what Jeremy Ruckert's doing in spring ball. They might want to bring in competition. But the other thing, too, is they keep telling us we want competition. We want competition. Well, give Mason Taylor an opportunity. If he beats out Noah Fant, guess what? You got a tight end that's younger and outplaying Noah Fant. And Noah Fant's still going to get a lot of rub in this offense if he joins this team because this team's going to really use the tight ends, Tony. I really, really believe that. And the reason I also don't rule this out too is who was the team that drafted Fant? It was the Denver Broncos. Is there a chance Darren Muji was the guy that was primarily scouting him at Iowa? There's a good chance. I mean, there's a good chance as well where you look at Darren Muji being a former quarterback. I mean, I guarantee you it was brought up to him during the pre-draft process of what his thoughts were on Noah Fant. And if he felt that Noah Fant was not a good fit, there might have been a chance that the Broncos didn't draft him. So I do think it is something to keep an eye on, and it's something that we should definitely not look past. Because this league, like anywhere else in life, it's all about relationships. It's about the relationships that you've made, and it's about keeping connected with the people that you've been involved with. And again, Noah Fant was drafted 20th overall by the Broncos, where Darren Muji was a scout at the time, helping pick the players for their team. Fields' weakness is a two-read quarterback. And look, I that's part of the other thing too, is why I think of tight ends incredibly valuable. They're in the middle of the field. When Fields is scrambling out, looking for a check down, the tight end's going to be the biggest target to see. And when I look at this offense, it to me, I'm not expecting Noah Fant to be like a Pro Bowl player, but I just look at the lack of production from the tight end position. I look at the lack of production outside Garrett Wilson, really in this wide receiver room, and it's a bit alarming. And you have the opportunity to add a player where you know when he's healthy, he is a highly productive player in the National Football League. I mean, even just receiving wise, do the Jets have a receiver on this team outside of Garrett Wilson that is going to get 500 yards receiving, find the end zone one or two times, and come away with 40 to 50 catches a year? Like outside of Patrick, not really. Even Alan Lazard, when it wasn't Aaron Rodgers throwing the football, he struggles. So I just look at this wide receiving room, and again, I'm not sure if this will happen. I just feel like this is a good opportunity for the Jets to do a couple of things. Number one, this team to be successful needs Justin Fields to be successful. You give him another weapon to throw to. But longer term, even, you look at Mason Taylor. This is a kid that you really love. This seems like a kid that you believe is going to be your starting tight end for 8 to 10 years. Don't have him go off the deep end right at the beginning. If this allows him a little bit more time to develop, work on his route running, make sure that he's up to speed with the playbook, there's going to be a lot put on him this year. Even if he isn't the number one tight end, there's going to be a lot expected from Mason Taylor, from this fan base, from where he was drafted, from his football pedigree, and from his background. But I just look at this opportunity as it allows you to ease in your high pick that was a tight end, so he doesn't have to be hitting the ground from day one. And for Noah Fant, I think this is a good fit too, because you know this is an offense that's going to throw to tight ends. You're going to get a lot of reps in this offense. You're going to get a lot of looks in this offense. And if your goal is not necessarily to win a Super Bowl, but your goal is, I want to get one last bite of the apple for a big NFL contract going into my 29th year when I'm going to be 29 years old in the 2026 season, go to an offense that's going to throw you the football. And this is going to be an offense that's going to throw you the football just because they don't have a lot of options. Wilson, Taylor, and Hall. I mean, Breece Hall is also going to be interesting too in this offense, Tony. I still feel like he's going to be used a lot as a wide receiver. But yeah, even with Fant, I mean, last year was really a down year for Fant. I mean, he only played in 14 games last year, and he still had 500 yards. And from all indications, he's been healthy this offseason. He's been working with the quarterbacks. He's been working incredibly hard up in Seattle. There was basically, they were planning to have him on the team. And I mean, it really was a big surprise. A lot of people were like, really? I mean, this is also a guy that doesn't like fumble the football. He won fumble in his entire career. I just look at this guy as a highly productive career. And you look at the career, 71% catch average. You know, he gets 8 targets a game, basically. This is someone that on an average year is going to get you between 450 and 550 yards and 3 to 4 touchdowns. And when I look at this Jet tight end room, because Mason Taylor's never played an NFL game, between the other 2 tight ends you have in that room, they have caught 1 touchdown between the 2 of them. They have caught about the same amount of yardage in their 3-year careers combined that Noah Fant usually gets in a season. So to me, this just makes a lot of sense. You have Darren Muji, who, of course, was one of the scouts in Denver when he was drafted. To me, this is a smart move. It takes a lot of pressure off of Mason Taylor, and it gives your quarterback that you're trying to have his career redone here with Justin Fields, you give him a viable tight end target. I mean, right now, the tight end room is hope. The tight end room is not production with the New York Jets. The tight end room is cross your fingers and hope Mason Taylor can hit the ground running and make an impact week 1. It's hope that Jeremy Ruckert can find his Ohio State days playing with Justin Fields. It's Stone Smart wasn't used correctly with the Chargers, but he gets an opportunity with the Jets and shows out. Like, that to me is a lot of hope. Like, give this room at least a baseline for production. We know at least with Garrett Wilson, there is production with him. We understand that there is production even with Tim Patrick and even Alan Lazard, even though a lot of that production is also drops. The Jets tight end room is the big mystery on this team. Because for every other room outside of maybe safety and kicker, like, we have an idea of what the production is going to be, what we can kind of expect. The tight end room, we're like throwing darts at the dartboard and hoping that they hit. Again, guys, if you're joining us during the live stream, see we got some more eyeballs in the room right now. If you have any questions, make sure to use that to reach out in the live stream in the comments section. Also, make sure to use that super chat feature to jump to the front of the line and make a donation to the channel. And of course, if you're listening to us off the live stream, you always check us out on YouTube, but always make sure to check us out where podcasts are available: SoundCloud, TuneIn, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts. If you can listen to a podcast, you can hear us. That's the thing, Tony. I don't think it would be as a replacement straight up for, I'm guessing you meant Rucker, not Rutgers. The other thing, too, is how do the Jets want to build the room? Like, you could carry technically 4 tight ends on this team. Maybe the Jets only go on to game days with 5 receivers and bring an extra tight end. Maybe they'll use the tight end like Jeremy Rucker more as a fullback in this system. Like, to me, it feels like you bring in competition. Look, that's the other thing. If you bring in Fant and Taylor looks great and Fant looks good and Ruckert isn't living up to the hype, or Ruckert isn't performing, then you have a decision, especially because you brought in his former college quarterback. If it's not clicking with Justin Fields, it's like, okay, it's just not going to work. And don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Tony, for the reminder. I always appreciate that. And a good winking face. But, I mean, I just look at the production for Noah Fant. And look, Jeremy Rucker, it's hard because I feel like he's a great kid. He's someone that I feel this fan base is desperate to see succeed. Because, again, you love the story. Kid from Long Island, grew up a Jet fan, always wanted to be a Jet, so you want to see him succeed. But, I mean, this is someone that hasn't had 20 catches in a season, hasn't eclipsed 200 yards in a season. This isn't someone that has even found the end zone in his NFL career. I mean, even yards per reception, it's 7.5 in his career. Noah Fant's over 10. You just look and you like Rucker. You want to believe a lot of it the last 2 years was Aaron Rodgers just not giving him the football and just not having the opportunities. But, you know, this is a make or break year. It's going to be his 4th year in the league. He's going to be 25 years old. Like, this year is going to determine Rucker's future, not only with the Jets, but potentially his NFL career. Because if he's not productive, I don't know if another team's really going to give him a legitimate shot. You never know. And again, with Stone Smart, he's entering his 4th year too. He's going to be 27, but we've seen some flashes. Again, over 13 yards a catch the last 2 seasons. When he gets the ball, he has been explosive. You just look to see, but again, a lot of it's those flashes. It's just not consistency. Even the most catches he's had in the season was 16 last year for 208 yards. I mean, he's only eclipsed over 200 yards last season. I mean, you look at the Jets tight end room combined between Taylor, who hasn't played a game, Rucker, and Smart, it's 600 yards of production. I mean, Noah Fant has gone over 600 yards twice when he was in Denver in 2020, 2021. And even in Seattle, the lowest year of his career was 414 yards in 2023. But he's still, like, you look at the production compared to that room, he had 12.9 yards per reception in his lowest year. I mean, that's still eclipsing what's in this room. And for me, it creates a sense of competition because you know what he can do in this league. And it allows you not to rush Mason Taylor out onto the field. Again, Mason Taylor is a long-term project for this team. But you also don't want to throw him out there when he's not ready and have it hurt his confidence potentially. Like, this to me just makes a lot of sense where you kind of are easing him into there. I mean, we've talked to And I know they're different positions, but we've pointed out in the past how the Jets didn't have like that ease of transition. It was just throw Zach Wilson in there, throw Sam Darnold in there at the quarterback position. You have a chance with this kind of a signing to ease your long-term tight end into the position and not have him sink, which I think is a very good option. And the other big thing too with this is Darren Muji also, we don't know how much he was involved in the recruitment in Denver. He could be a big player in this. And the other big thing too, I think if you're Noah Fant and if your goal is to get the most money for your last NFL contract, this could be a good, intriguing place for a one-year contract. You go play with a quarterback that loves to throw to tight ends. You know, the tight ends are going to be heavily involved. If you come out of the season with 500, 600 yards receiving, a couple touchdowns and decent production, 55 to 60 catches, there's going to be a team that will offer you a big contract. There will be a team. I mean, heck, there might be a team that still gives Fant a multi-year deal at this point. But if he's willing to take a one-year deal, I think it's worth the risk. And it allows you to ease in your long-term tight end. And also, you want Justin Fields to work. Let's be frank. You want Justin Fields to work with the Jets because, number one, it means you have a functioning quarterback. And number two, it means you're not using a ton of draft capital next April to draft one. So if you want him to succeed, why not give him another receiver? Because let's be frank, if Noah Fant's in this offense, he's likely the number two guy they're throwing the football to. We know it's Garrett Wilson number one, but then after that, it's a lot of maybe, hopefully, I'm praying, but I just at the end of the day think that you want to create competition in your tight end room. You want to ease your prized rookie tight end into this lineup. And to me, this just makes too much sense on so many levels. It makes sense for Fant if he wants to get another big contract. It makes sense for this Jet team if they want to create competition in the tight end room. It makes sense if you're the Jets, you want Justin Fields to succeed because you give him another option to throw the football to. But overall, it just makes sense to bring in a player that is still young, has been highly productive in the National Football League, because he can help your team win football games. I don't think Noah Fant is going to add a win to the Jets potentially, but do I think it makes their offense a little bit more dangerous? Does it give Justin Fields a little bit more of a passing game? Does it take a little bit more pressure off of Garrett Wilson? Does it take a little bit of pressure off of Mason Taylor to not be a highly productive tight end day one when he's never played a single snap in the NFL? Does it allow the Jets some headroom, like if Ruckert isn't developing or Smart isn't developing at the way you were hoping, and you get to the regular season, you're like, wow, we're really thin at the tight end position. So I do think it is a good idea to bring that in. Look, you bring in tight end room. You bring in depth, and depth seems to be a key for Darren Muji. He's added depth to the offensive line. They've added depth to the wide receiver room. Maybe not talent, but at least depth. The tight end room was a position I thought the Jets should double dipped in the draft. And to be honest, I'm kind of surprised they didn't go in the undrafted market to add more depth to this tight end room. You could make the case that, yes, the wide receiver room is thin, but at least you have guys who have produced in the NFL and with the wide receivers like Allen Lazard. Like, again, it's not great, but you know that they can produce at some capacity in the NFL. We don't know what Rucker can produce. We don't know what Smart can produce. And God forbid if something happens to Mason Taylor where he has to miss time or he's a little bit behind just learning the offense, because, again, he's a rookie and it's a big transition. All of a sudden you're looking around that tight end room, you're going, this is not ideal. And then you also look at Justin Fields. How does that impact him if he doesn't have a reliable safety net to check the football down to? Is he going to push the ball down the field and make some bad decisions? We've seen that happen before, and you saw it last year in Pittsburgh. He loved throwing to the tight ends. He loves that as his check down option. So this, to me, just checks a lot of boxes off for why it would be a great fit for the New York Jets. Will they do it? We will have to wait and see. Now, I'm going to check Twitter because, again, one of the running jokes here on Rich Sports Talk is, of course, breaking news always seems to happen, like where Garrett Wilson's deal came through. It broke during the live stream I was doing. So I'm just making sure that this hasn't happened or the Jets haven't added any pieces that I haven't seen. Some other good news out of Jets land, of course. Jermaine Johnson will be on the PUP list to start the season, but he did address it on Twitter saying he's on the PUP list because the team wants me to move slow to be safe, which I agree with. But he said it's not because he's not healthy. He's ready to go. He's just taking it easy. And plus, it also, I think, with the roster gymnastics, just makes a lot of sense as well. But just checking. So apparently the Jets haven't added anyone else as well, although I do see some people like Dame Lillard's going back to the Blazers. Chris Paul's going back to the Clippers. Should the Jets bring back Jamal Adams? And I'm still no. I mean, I still love how Tim Boyle has, 20 lives in the NFL. Will Levis, of course, announced out for the year with shoulder surgery, which means Cam Ward is going to be the starter because you look at the backups are Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle. I don't know how Tim Boyle, he needs to be studied. How you look at his college career, how it ended and how he's been able to stick around the NFL. I mean, the guy could credit due. Not yet, Tony. We'll talk a lot about the defensive tackles, of course, through training camp. That's a position I'm going to watch. But the other thing I'm curious with the defensive tackle, which I don't think we're talking about enough, is when you look at Wilkes and when you look at the traditional Aaron Glenn, like the kind of defenses, they seem to want to run. There might be a chance they run more 3-4. And if they're running more 3-4, what does that mean? I mean, I think the easy answer is McDonald's is more of a stand-up outside linebacker, but maybe Quinnen becomes the nose tackle. Jermaine becomes one of the edge setters. So again, we'll have to see what this defense looks like. And Tony, I think if you're looking to add another piece, like I think this is a great example with Noah Fant. The NFL is always full of surprises. We always see players that we are surprised or cut. Like if I told you 48 hours ago Noah Fant was going to get cut by the Seahawks, you would look at me like, why? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, it happened. So there's going to be a lot of cuts. There's going to be a lot of moves. I don't think the Jets are going to necessarily go after a big name or a veteran name, but maybe they try to do what they did with John Franklin Myers years ago, where they find a guy that's on waivers. They think he's underrated. They bring him in, and he's a good fit for the scheme. I keep an eye on the waiver wire, especially out of Detroit. I do think that there are some guys that Aaron Glenn might have an eye on that practice squad. But again, there's going to be a lot of moving pieces as we get through training camp, and we will be here to bring you all of those updates. So again, thank you everyone for joining us for Rich Sports Talk. We, of course, go live every Monday, and we're going live after every single Jets home game and away game this year. I don't know why I say home and away game. We basically come out after every Jets game to break down the games after the game, get your thoughts as a fan base, and give my analysis on how the Jets perform. So, again, all that's coming during the regular season. We'll be here throughout the training camp, going through the key position battles and also some of the latest transactions for this New York Jets team. If you're not able to join us in the live stream, make sure to check us out where podcasts are available. iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you can listen to a podcast, you can listen to Rich Sports Talk. Again, everyone, if you want to leave comments after the video or on the podcast, I do my best to answer as many questions as possible. But if you also want more great New York Jets content, make sure to like and subscribe because, again, it helps us get us out to more Jet fans, helps us grow within the Jets community, and helps us get even more great subscribers and listeners in to join our live streams. Again, thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. We'll see you next time here on Rich Sports Talk.